Drummond, Bulldog Drummond, and he's our man of action for this week's movie. Hello and welcome to a new episode of B-Movie Enema, the series. I'm B-Movie proctologist Geoff Arbuckle. With me over there is my girl Friday, Nurse Disembaudee. Nurse, how you doing today?
I wish I had a super cool name.
What do you mean?
Who names someone Cartoon Face Disembaudee? Seriously, neither the first name or the last name is something anyone has. One sounds like a nickname and a bad one, and one sounds like a dumb pun and a really bad one at that. It's like whoever birthed me into existence just plainly sucks at naming people. I want to be something like Countess Tessera, or, I don't know, Duchess Delilah. Ooh, I like that one. Call me Duchess Delilah.
Sure, whatever you say, Your Highness. Anyway, this week we've got the last film to be made to feature the character Hugh Bulldog Drummond. Some girls do. Now, gosh, there's a lot for me to talk about here, but let's start with the history of the character. Bulldog Drummond was created by novelist H.C. McNeill under his pen name Sapper. McNeill was a British soldier during World War I, and his works between 1915 and 1918 were mostly about his time in the war. After the war, his books were largely written to be thrillers. He was given the pen name Sapper by Lord Northcliffe, who owned the Daily Mail, who published his stories. Now, why was he given that pen name? Well, first and foremost, at the time that he started writing for the Daily Mail, he was still a serving British officer, so no serving officers were allowed to publish under their real names. Second, he was part of the Royal Engineers, and Sapper came from a nickname in that corps. Now, McNeill sold fairly well. However, his Bulldog Drummond books, the first being published in 1920, was by far his most enduring legacy. Sapper would be credited with 10 Drummond books between 1920 until his death in 1937 from throat cancer. The man he supposedly based Drummond on, Gerard Fairley, ended up picking up the banner from there and published 7 more books between 1938 and 1954. Sapper was diagnosed with cancer while working with Fairley on a Bulldog Drummond play, so Fairley was already part of the creative process with the character. Between 1922 and 1951, 22 Bulldog Drummond movies were produced. Considering years like 1937 through 1939, where 9 movies were released in that time frame, think of these movies as B-pulp pictures released similarly to that era's Sherlock Holmes series with Basil Rathbone. Now, the movies and novels were quite popular, right? Well, it shouldn't be all that surprising that Sapper would influence Ian Fleming and one of the most popular and enduring characters of all time, James Bond.
So, what, is Bulldog Drummond like an international spy and a man of action?
Well, sort of half that, I guess. Like Sapper, Drummond was a World War I vet. Now, I'm assuming that he had some standing or money or something because he got pretty bored with his life, so he put an ad out in the paper in search of excitement, and then Drummond became a gentleman adventurer.
Now that's the life I'm talking about.
Yeah, think about how awesome it would be, Nurse. We'd go jet-setting here, there, and everywhere, sipping martinis beside the pool in Monaco one day, and escaping bad guys in Berlin the next.
I kind of think we'd be more successful if we did the adventuring separately. You know, like, I'll be at the pool in Monaco, seducing the big bad guy, and you're, I don't know, like, breaking into a secret underground lab in northern Alaska.
Well, wait, why am I in Alaska in the underground lab in the tundra, and you're in Monaco by the pool, probably getting day drunk on martinis, to the point that you pass out and get sunburned? Actually, you know what? That's kind of funny. I'll deal with the Alaskan lab. Good luck with your hangover in Monaco.
Joke's on you. I'm still in Monaco by the pool. The life of Duchess Delilah is so difficult.
Yeah, unlike James Bond, at least the Bond we know in cinema, Drummond was a large, unattractive character. He's described as about 6 foot tall, 200-pound guy who was kind of brainless. I feel like if he was created 100 years later, he'd be like one of those Paul brothers doing boneheaded stunts on YouTube. Now, one thing that was most definitely a part of the character's personality was that he was almost aggressively patriotic to the United Kingdom. That would ultimately create some troubling comparisons uncovered by scholars after Sapper's death. Now, you see, Sapper wrote the character as kind of a fascist. He was kind of portrayed to supposedly keep up the status quo of Britain, but would also often come across as being, as academic Hans Burtons would put it, a murderous exponent of a fierce competitive individualism. Contemporaries of Sapper's, like Cecil Day Lewis, who created the detective Nigel Strangeways, thought of Drummond as not much more than just a schoolyard bully. Drummond was basically a xenophobic chauvinist. So after Sapper passed away, his works were started to be seen through the lens of the recently ended Second World War. It was becoming pretty clear that McNeill was a fan of one of the more fundamental elements of fascism. The head of state's word is above law. Now, granted, this is something that's hard to exactly prove, especially since people were particularly sensitive at the time based on current events, but he had a style similar to others of his time to inevitably include anti-Semitism and xenophobia, only McNeill typically used much less polite language than those contemporaries of his. McNeill, through his Bulldog Drummond books, was often seen as a conservative who just thought the way a lot of his countrymen felt too. So, I don't know, take that for what it's worth.
I'm not so sure I want to watch this movie after all that stuff you said about anti-Semitism, chauvinism, and fascism.
Well, here's the thing, Nurse.
Duchess.
Yeah, whatever. This movie is more of a James Bond parody than anything that would really be that close to the original depiction of Drummond. Some Girls Do was the second of 2 films starring Richard Johnson. We'll talk more about him in the next segment, but this Drummond is more of a happy-go-lucky James Bond on an adventure trying to solve some bad guy stuff. So it's a little more of a product of that era than its post-World War I British fascism.
Duchess Delilah will be the judge of that.
Okie dokie. Well, let's get this movie started and find out what Some Girls Do.
Some girls do have the power to corrupt and destroy you. They'll take you and they'll break you, or they'll make you a king. They'll bring you the summer when winter is due. It is truly quite amazing, the things that some girls do.
Senior aerodynamics engineer.
Yes, Mr. Peterson.
Expecting turbulence, are we?
No, sir.
Some girls do satisfy you, but they'll all mystify you. They'll thrill you, and some will do anything you desire. There's no doubt about it, it's proved to be true. There is nothing in the world that can do what some girls do.
Fuselage.
Yes, Mr. Peterson.
But this is life, it's all part of the game. Trying to guess the unknown. There's just one rule to this glamorous game. It cannot be played alone.
Gee, Mr. Drummond, that was fantastic.
Now for the engines.
Yes, Mr. Peterson.
The countdown continues from 85, 84, 83, 82, 81, 80, 79, 78,
There's someone at the door.
77, 76, 75, 74, 73, 72, 71, 70, 69, 68, 67, 66, 65, 64, 63, 62, 61, 60, 59, 58, 57, 56, 55, 54, 53, 52, 51, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31.
Clumsy brute, look what you've done.
13, 12, 11, 10, 9. It'll wash off. 7, 6, 5, 4.
3, 2, 1.
There she blows.
And what a beaut.
Your drink, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, gee, Mr. Drummond. Me having a drink with you. Gosh. What is it?
Well, pretty strong. It's a bull shot.
Gosh. Tastes like beef soup. It is beef soup. Is it?
Well, little of it is. The rest's vodka.
Hello, darling. Wasn't it lovely?
Wow. Did you do that, Mr. Drummond?
Do what?
The eye.
Good heavens, no. Don't do things like that to girls.
I bet they're both spies.
Well, as a matter of fact, you're completely right. You see the one with the glasses? She's Hungarian. The eyes are disguised, of course.
Ah, yes.
Damn clever, these Hungarians.
Wow.
Actually, she's working for us now.
Because she's madly in love with you.
Well, what do you think?
What does it feel like to be a hero, Mr. Drummond?
Careful.
What?
That's my bad knee.
Oh, no, really, Mr. Drummond. You are a hero. Why, you caught that man that killed the Secretary of State, and then you went and kidnapped all those tanks, and then you caught that other man who...
Oh, Hungarians.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Drummond. But gee, if ever you need a girl Friday, I'll do it.
Well, now's your chance.
Me? Mr. Drummond's holiday office speaking. Mr. Drummond's secretary. Oh, I'm sorry. It's your secretary.
Hello, Miss Crumb.
Miss Crumb.
What? The SST-1. When? Right. I'll be there as soon as possible.
You have to go home?
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Oh.
Mr. Drummond?
Do I look like Mr. Drummond?
Where is he? Who are you?
I'm his daily. Who are you? Miss Mary? You?
I'm of cookery school.
Oh. Have you got a light?
I don't approve of smoking. It ruins the taste buds. Where is Mr. Drummond?
Is it important?
Yes, it is.
You have to stand still for it to go away. You can tell me if you like. I'm his confidential daily.
When are you expecting him back?
I'm not. He's gone on holiday.
Why didn't you say so? When did he leave?
2 days ago. He went for a fortnight. Changed his mind, though. He's coming back today.
Oh, in that case, I'll just leave him a note. Will you be sure to see that he gets this as soon as he gets back? Thank you.
It's your greatest aeroplane ever, Mr. Mortimer. In fact, I think it's the greatest ever built. We know the Prime Minister wants you to have a knighthood.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, but unfortunately, I'm afraid it isn't possible. Not yet. The Home Office.
Well, what are they to do with aircraft design, sir?
It isn't that. It's, they say you're breaking the law.
Oh, indeed, do they? Well, I can assure you, sir, that I have never broken the law, to my knowledge.
Well, you're classified, old chap, and so is your briefcase. Official Secrets Act.
But I've always been of the opinion that my secrets are safer in the custody of someone who knows and understands them. Me.
Ah, but if somebody kidnaps you and your notes are with you...
Now, look here, Sir Dudley. I mean, Mr. Mortimer. With that briefcase under your arm, you're in danger with every step you take.
Now, look, old chap, we haven't told you, but there's been a couple of accidents recently. We were getting worried about anything happening to you. So we've been trying to insure you for £5 million. Only we can't get anyone willing to accept the risk, not while you walk around with that briefcase.
$5 million?
Well, you're worth it. We couldn't replace you.
I was thinking it's not very much. Well, all right. Good day, gentlemen. Oh, sorry. Now, this must be locked away, sir. That's very important.
What about that?
It's welded, sir, for safety. Good day, gentlemen.
He's right, you know. He is worth more than that.
Sir Dudley Mortimer. Lord Mortimer.
Is something wrong?
Did you have a breakdown?
Oh, did you have a puncture?
Maybe he ran out of water.
Oh, yes.
My dear young lady, even I know that water does not drive a car.
Oh, look. Here. Look.
Oh, petroleum.
Oh, poor little man, what will you do?
Oh, don't worry. We'll tow you, won't we?
I don't want to
Get
tow.
the rope, Pandora.
I will not
It's
be
all
towed.
right.
No, I'm going to push. I'm going to push.
Take the handbrake off, will you?
Put that rope away. Put it away, I say. Now, stop.
I'm perfectly capable of managing this myself.
In you go, little man. We take care of you.
Stop! How dare you? Stop it, stop! I'll warn you two young ladies. Stop, I say! Stop!
Bye-bye. Drive carefully, Mr. Mortimer.
Pull! Bam. Well, Hugh, what do you make of it?
Well, it ought to be too late for sabotage. The prototype's been built, it flies, and the contract's been signed. Pull!
Good shot. But they can still cancel the contract until the end of next month.
Pull! That's funny. Somebody's shooting my clays.
Yes, old chap, you are. You know, if this news gets about...
Hey! You shooting at my birds?
No, aren't you?
Pull!
Great Scott, I think that's the most amazing bit of trick shooting I've ever seen.
Hello there, please. It is Baroness Helga, is it not?
Look, Hugh, if this contract's cancelled, the country stands to lose £1,000 million in exports. You've got to do something about it.
I'll do my best.
Ah, my dear Torrance.
Lord Dunbury. May I present Major Newman, Lord Dunbury, and,
Oh, Hugh Drummond. I thought you'd met.
the Hugh Drummond. We should have met sooner. On business, but this is much nicer.
Business?
You insure some of my aeroplanes. One of them has just crashed. Meine Schöne.
I think you owe me an apology, madam.
But your friend had missed. I hoped to save you the shame.
Oh, my dear girl. Mr. Drummond's a better shot even than you. I'm the duffer.
Better shot than me, I doubt. But we could see.
You will come and visit me soon, Mr. Drummond. Torrenson Experimental Aerodynamics. Dunbury will tell you.
Right. I'll be down tomorrow. Torrenson?
Oh, they're gliders, sailplanes. They've done some research for us. They're a good firm, not very big.
Something crashed?
Oh, just one of his gliders. Not very important, not one of his... Well, I'll see you there, perhaps.
Bye. You are a good shot.
I'm also a good cook. That is our dinner.
Fresh? Pheasants are supposed to be hung for a week, you know.
I'm a very good cook. You'll never know they were fresh. Why what?
Why sit halfway up a tree, middle of Surrey, shooting at my clay pigeons? I wanted to come back here, go to bed with me.
I wanted to see how good a shot you were.
Out.
Better than most men.
And what's the end product supposed to be?
Must there be one?
Well, shooting often ends up in somebody getting killed, you know. Would you mind?
Packing? All right?
Thank you.
Hello.
Flicky?
You forgot your ski.
Flicky. Flicky.
Wow! I bet they're a pushover once you get them up here.
Now, Flicky, listen to me. I don't want to seem inhospitable, but...
Well, don't I even get a drink?
Champagne or beef soup?
A bullshot.
Over there.
I'll make one.
Flicky, how long were you thinking of staying? In London, that is.
Oh, until my aunt's better.
Your aunt?
Yes. She broke her leg. Isn't that marvelous? Well, you see, there's no one to take care of her except for me. That's why I'm here. But, she won't need me all the time, so I can be free to help you, too.
Yes.
Who's Angela?
Adele.
Oh. Well, she left a note for you. It says, Mr. Drummond.
Shh. Telephone.
Oh, you have company. Why didn't you say something?
Flicky.
The bedroom.
My bed.
She's off the phone now. Gosh. She was in a hurry. What do we do now?
That's sort of a silly question, isn't it? Well, the first thing we do is take the coat off. Then we draw a bath.
Mr. Drummond.
What do you like for breakfast in the morning?
My aunt. She may be waiting up for me. I think I better call her.
Flicky. For a femme fatale, you make a damn good ski instructor. Your aunt doesn't exist, does she? Mayfair 8860, then.
What's that?
Claridge's.
Claridge's Hotel. Good evening.
Hey.
Put your finger on there. Don't let go till I tell you.
What is it?
Plastic explosive. Enough to blow the whole place to smithereens. And you and me with it. So it's quite safe. I'm not gonna. You see, she replaced the telephone mic with that. One word in here, and poof.
After you.
Hello, Mr. Drummond?
Bang.
1, 2, 3, crack! Well done, Major Newman. Right in the bowl.
So sorry, Major.
Relax the egg, Wing Commander. Relax the egg. Now then, come along. All together then. 1, 2, 3, relax, crack. 1, 2, 3, relax, crack. That's it. Oh, dear. We'll have to do better than that, Mr. Torrenson.
I will try, Miss Mary.
Little egg behind the ear.
Thank you, dear lady. Sir.
Why don't you watch Major Newman? He does it so well. Show him, Major Newman. There. Now, you try. Oh, dear. Time to stop. Never mind. Tomorrow we'll start whipping. Whipping our golden sweet, nature-nurtured eggs into a lovely, creamy froth. I can't wait. But for the moment, back to our responsibilities. And don't forget my aprons. You will do your homework, won't you, Mr. Torrenson? Well done, Major. A special diploma for you, my boy. Thank you. 11 o'clock tomorrow, then. Good night. Bless you, Bishop. Kills the taste buds. A merciful death.
Hello, dear little man.
Miss Mary? Miss Mary? All right, you can come out now. What the hell are you doing here?
Well, the note your cleaning lady left you.
So you decided to play private eye, did you?
But I just got here as you drove up.
Well, let's see if she's upstairs, shall we?
Hey, why a cookery school?
Well, firstly, 500 guineas a course. Secondly, it's a good front. And it provides the sort of clients that it pays to inform on.
Who's been after what?
Yes, I don't know. The only thing likely to interest a thief around here would be nasty gossip.
Maybe they're after his diary then.
Maybe you're right, but I don't think Miss Mary is that obvious. All the same, you could be on the right track. Now, what do you make of this, hmm? Look here.
Wing Commander Aston's Christmas party. Strip poker before dinner.
Yeah, I don't think that's very suitable for you.
And the boat.
Doesn't mean anything to me.
Doesn't say anything about my Baroness either.
Or the SST-1. That's what you mean.
Yeah, clever little thing, aren't you? And have a look down there.
That's Miss Mary. Still warm. His friends must have been here very recently. What do you make of that?
HD. Torgly dang. What?
I think it's a warning of some kind, Flicky. That gliding is dangerous.
Actually, I'm beginning to think I want to be called Baroness Helga. Helga is a nice, strong name. By royal decree, you shall now refer to your Duchess Delilah as Baroness Helga. And you shall be my royal Jester Flicky. You may continue your program now, Flicky.
Alright, well, Some Girls Do is the last movie to be made based on the Bulldog Drummond character, and it's very easy to see this was heavily influenced by Eon Productions' James Bond series that had, up until 1969, when Some Girls Do was released, starred Sean Connery. Now, we're going to come back around to Sean Connery, James Bond, and this film star Richard Johnson in a bit. But this was the follow-up to Deadlier Than the Male, which was made in 1967 and also starred Johnson. Both of these films were directed by Ralph Thomas. Thomas was a bit of a journeyman director. He didn't really do a lot of big-time movies, but he did get a lot of leverage with producer Sidney Box when they made the movie Doctor in the House, starring Bogart. Now, this turned into a 7-movie series that was quite popular in Britain. All of the films in the series were directed by Thomas and produced by Box. Now, there are quite a few recognizable faces in this movie, and almost all of them appear in this first segment. At the beginning, one of the girls going around bumping off these important airplane folks is Joanna Lumley. Lumley would be best known to most people these days as one of the stars of the breakout British comedy Absolutely Fabulous. Along with Lumley in these early scenes was Jutta Stensgaard. Stensgaard was also in the British sci-fi sex comedy film Zeta 1, as well as a couple of the Carry On films that were pretty popular in England, with the first of those films starring the original Doctor Who William Hartnell. Stensgaard would appear in one of the Doctor films that Thomas made, and in 1971 Stensgaard appeared as Carmilla in Lust for a Vampire for Hammer. Speaking of Doctor Who, in 1970 she auditioned for the role of Jo Grant, companion of the third Doctor, and who was played by John Pertwee. Now, speaking of Doctor Who, later, in a relatively unremarkable scene as an airplane company man, Richard Hurndall appears in this movie. Hurndall was hired in 1983 to appear as the first Doctor in the 20th anniversary special episode, The Five Doctors. Hurndall was brought in because the original first Doctor, Hartnell, died in 1975. So we should all recognize the actress playing Flicky.
Haha, Flicky.
She's played by Sydney Rome. Now, Rome, of course, was last seen in The Puma Man. Now, get this. Rome was only 17 years old when this movie was being made. In fact, she had not even turned 18 by the time this movie was released. I almost have to believe that maybe she lied about her 1951 birth year, but what do I know?
I mean, she is kind of looking young, but I wouldn't think she was only 17 years old in this.
Yeah, no doubt.
I kind of hate how she and some of the other girls have that high-pitched, bubbly, bimbo-y voice. It's annoying.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know if it's just how the girls talked, or if it was, if that's the energy they brought, or if it's more of a kind of comedic chauvinism that's present in Drummond's character. Either which way, Flicky wants to be an adventurer with Drummond, and she suspiciously shows up wherever he is. Now, that's one thing I do kind of like about some of the ladies in this movie. They definitely have some endearing qualities to their characters. Rome is flirty and fun and seems up for the challenge of chasing Drummond around the globe or wherever he's going. And we'll talk a little bit more about number 7 later because she's kind of adorable. Now, one more person of note in this first segment is Robert Morley. Morley's debut in film was way back in 1935 Scrooged as an uncredited rich man. And he then appeared as King Louis XVI in Marie Antoinette. And he was just in a ton of movies. He's one of those guys who is really recognizable, but there are actually few movies that I recognize on his filmography. The Great Muppet Caper, Oh Heavenly Dog, and 1974's Great Expectations are probably the only ones of his that I've likely seen. But his burly stature and bushy eyebrows is incredibly notable and recognizable. And I do like that he's playing a character named Miss Mary.
Why was he named that?
I don't know. Why are you calling yourself Baroness Helga? Anyway, oh yeah, Helga. She's played by Dahlia Lavi. Now, Lavi played in a handful of movies and was even in another James Bond parody, 1967's Casino Royale. When she was only 10 years old, she met Kirk Douglas, who was in Israel making his movie The Juggler. She said that she wanted to become a dancer, so he helped her convince her parents to send her to Sweden to study ballet. But I guess she didn't really like the cold and gave up dancing to become a model. And she ultimately got spotted on a beach and was cast in a movie starring none other than Kirk Douglas. Now, I mentioned Joanna Lumley earlier, and since we're circling the drain quite a bit with this James Bond stuff, she and another actress in this movie, Virginia North, appeared in both Some Girls Do and the next James Bond adventure, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. And they were both being filmed at Pinewood Studios at the same time, so the two girls made it into both. All right, Baroness, are you ready to get back to the movie?
I believe I am, Flicky.
I'm beginning to hope that you put a plastic explosive in my phone receiver.
How come?
I mean, that would be far better than being called Flicky for the rest of this episode.
Thank you.
You have looked through the parachute yourself, my dear. Mr. Drummond is far too valuable to lose.
Oh, yes, sir. I packed it myself.
You say it broke up in the air, Mr. Torrenson.
My experts tell me so, though somebody had beaten it with a club as it was flying. One would need a very big club to smash that, eh?
Well, we shall have to see what happens.
Good luck, Mr. Drummond.
Release at 4,000 feet, sir.
All right.
Out of sight now, darling.
Thank you! He's releasing now!
Drummond, sailplane to control. Drummond, sailplane to tower.
Hello, Drummond sailplane. Come in, please. He's broken off. There he goes!
Oh, poor lamb. Do you know, I think someone cut the ripcord of his parachute.
He's trying to open it by hand.
How much longer.
Oh, seconds!
Guten Morgen.
Good morning.
Hugh Drummond? You have the worst stiff neck I ever see.
Yeah, you can say that again. You can do that again. Tell me, what did you find out about Torrenson?
Torrenson, he comes to the sauna, I give him a massage, he goes home. Sometimes I don't see him for weeks. And when he's not in England, he's in North Africa.
North Africa? Didn't mention a man called Baruch, did he?
Baruch. He talks about Baruch. He meets him too in North Africa. And, something about a boat.
Osprey 3?
Yes, that's it. A very fast boat, he said. He mentioned somebody else called Carl Peterson.
Peterson?
Is that any help?
Birgit, I absolutely adore you.
You do?
Mm-hmm. And now... I've got to rush off.
You sure you love me so?
Well, I can't prove it in front of the NATO sky.
You're next, Major Newman.
Hello? Tell him I'll be down in a minute. Yes?
Boo. Boo. It's me.
I know it's you.
How do you know it's me? You didn't even look. How do you like my dress?
Just the thing for following me around in.
I thought so. Where are we dining?
We aren't dining anywhere. I've made other arrangements.
Ah, shucks. You must admit it was a good idea, though. I was even on the same plane with you, and you didn't spot me.
Oh, how could I? You've got a black wig and dark glasses on. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to rush off. Help yourself. Flicky?
Yes?
You know, everybody's got a home somewhere. Why didn't you go to yours? That's a good girl.
I can't. It's too far away.
Flicky.
I'm hungry.
Well, try the hotel restaurant. Excellent.
I want to go out.
Go to the Casbah.
With you?
There's a restaurant there where the sheep's eyes are a richly rewarding experience.
Sheep's eyes? Yuck.
Ah, Mr. Drummond. How do you do?
You from the British Embassy?
Oh, yes, I hope I won't shock you, old chap, but you'll find me a bit of a fallout, you know. This way, please.
I think you mean drop out.
Do I? Oh, yes, I do. My name's Carruthers, by the way, Peregrine Carruthers, but you can call me Butch.
That yours?
Yes. Super, isn't she? Positively psychedelic.
I hope you're safe.
That's what Mother keeps worrying about. Who cares, Mr. Drummond? Get with it. Live dangerously.
What does His Excellency think about your swinging image?
I don't know. He doesn't say.
Wonder why not?
He's Mommy's brother. Here's your invitation. Lord Dunbury laid it on. It's a pre-race party.
Pre-race? What for?
Powerboats, International Gold Cup tomorrow.
Who's Lady Manderley?
Oh, expatriate society type. Always in the cheap press. Yachts, the Riviera, money to burn. Last time it was a harem party. Great fun. Come as your favorite eunuch.
Glad it was last time. You're a bit overdressed. Baruch be there?
Oh, I can't say, old chap.
Where do you fit in?
Me? Oh, I've been assigned as your bodyguard.
Good grief.
Look out! When will they learn to drive on the left?
Madge! Oh, it's a Madge, you can make it. Lovely, sweet. Darling, darling, get me a drink, will you? Isn't it sweet? Zazzle! Ah!
Who's the contact, Butch?
No idea, old chap. I presume they'll reveal themselves.
If you look at some of these dresses, it won't be long now.
Yes, I see what you mean.
Well, I'll be around if you need any protection.
Thank you, Butch.
Mr. Drummond?
Yes?
Reggie! This is divine. You always make a party go, sir.
Mr. Drummond?
Mr. Drummond. Oh, yes, of course. Reggie! Come here at once!
Cool, baby.
Good evening, Mr. Drummond. Sorry to have kept you waiting. Oh. Forgive the uproar out there. My parties suit my purpose. People think I'm a fool, and they talk and talk and talk. Now, Mr. Baruch, Dunbury put an urgent on it, but I'm afraid we haven't been able to do much.
Very nice.
Mysterious person, Baruch. But you'll see for yourself. He's definitely coming here tonight.
Who's Kruger?
Built this boat.
Osprey 3.
Mm-hmm. He's expected to win the Gold Cup tomorrow.
What's his connection with Baruch?
We're not sure. Except at one of my parties, Kruger boasted he could take Baruch for $500,000 if he wanted to. Something about Baruch buying the Osprey.
$500,000? That's an awful lot of money for a boat. Could he be buying anything else as well?
Possibly. You see, Kruger's father was a scientist doing advanced work on infrasound. He died last year. Police think it was murder. There was no proof.
Infrasound? What's that?
Subsonic vibrations. You can't hear it, but it's there. It can destroy life very quickly. Kruger's father was trying to find out how to control and direct it.
And what's Torrenson got to do with all this?
We've drawn a blank there. Oh, except that Torrenson often flies down to meet Baruch. Yes. Thank you. Baruch has just arrived.
Darling, you look gorgeous. Angel, fetch me a drink. My own party and I'm dying of thirst.
Over there.
Darling man, I'm honored. My chic of the desert. So exciting, so mysterious.
Oh, you must meet Mr. Drummond. He's just popped down from London for the race.
Ah, Drummond. Your reputation precedes you. Insurance, isn't it?
That's correct.
We must have a lot of things in common, Mr. Drummond. Love for the subdued, for example. Lady Mandeville's parties.
Good evening, Mr. Drummond.
Surprise, surprise. Your aim's gone to pot, Baroness.
My aim is perfect. Dead center.
Just that you drilled the wrong heart.
Oh, don't be so egocentric, darling. You're not the only interest I have.
Oh, you mustn't say things like that. You'll make me jealous. That's a Grunig Mark 6. Special Swedish target pistol. Virtually guarantees you a bullseye. Only one problem. Fires just one shot at a time.
But I might have reloaded.
I'll take a chance on that.
I won't!
You see, it was loaded after all. Do you, Mr. Drummond?
What?
Hello, Mr. Kruger.
What do you want? I've told your boss already we've done our bit of business, and that's that.
He didn't get everything. He didn't get the boat.
That's his tough luck, huh?
But he wants it.
Another chance, baby. Now scram. What's that?
That's little Pandora's box.
Is this Kruger's boathouse? Yes, he's over there.
Silly Mr. Kruger.
Is he dead?
That's strange. A mark on him. Just like Miss Mary.
Well, thank heavens he's not British. Well, he's not my responsibility, you see.
I kill him, though. What's so important about a boat?
Sound waves, could that be it?
What do you mean?
Well, young Kruger there was always talking about sound waves.
Powdered glass. Of course. Infrasound.
That's it. That's what he was always going on about, infrasound, yes.
Well, is there some emergency lighting here? Yes.
What was that?
That's infrasonic sound. Directed down through these holes in the hull. Breaks up the water friction. Makes the boat slide faster.
And hey, presto, you've won the race. No wonder he was bumped off.
You need to murder a man to stop him cheating.
All you got to do is to report him to the race committee.
But what makes you so sure that he will come himself?
I know him. He will. Look for him.
Will all competitors for the International Gold Cup proceed to the start, boy?
Oh, look! There!
13 minutes to go.
Yes. Put him down.
Tous les concurrents de la Coupe d'Or internationale sont priés de se rendre à la bouée de départ.
I say it's terribly exciting playing decoy. I feel just like one of those stuffed ducks.
John, you go there.
Drive.
Baroness Helga, 5 o'clock, 1 mile. Estimated time of arrival, 3 minutes.
Received. Central out.
Is this what you're after?
Don't touch it! Turn it off! Slow down or I'll shoot!
If you shoot me, we'll never stop in time.
You look a mess.
Well, not really used to roughing it, Baroness.
It won't be for long. And it's a comfortable place to die.
Oh! Do you mind?
Cozy little place.
Come on. Come on, move. You wait here.
2 against 1, Mr. Drummond.
You don't want to miss the manager, though, do we?
A drink, sir?
Black and white and water, please.
Black and white and water.
No ice.
No ice. Right away, sir. And you, sir?
Nothing. Nothing for me, thank you.
Black and white and water.
Thank you.
This way, please.
Not bad. Little less water next time.
Oh dear. That reminds me, His Excellency is expecting us for dinner.
My dear Carruthers, don't be alarmed. Ah, Mr. Drummond. How very nice of you to come. Thank you, ladies.
You're not Baruch at all. You're Torrenson, aren't you?
Oh, no, he's Baruch. I saw him shot.
Torrenson.
The killing of Baruch was a necessity. There was too much curiosity. A coup de théâtre, my dear sir. Would you care for something to drink, Mr. Drummond?
It's inevitable, I suppose. This desire to disguise yourself.
What do you mean?
The whole civilized world finds Carl Peterson totally repulsive. You seem to have reached the same conclusion.
Who is this Carl Peterson?
You are. I can smell you.
You think you're so damn clever, don't you, Drummond? But I'll show you.
I'll show you. This island on the crossroads of the Mediterranean. From here I will control the whole destiny of the world.
Ridiculous, you can't even control your own temper. Carruthers. I don't keep H.E. waiting any longer, must we?
Don't move, Mr. Drummond. Drop it.
Hello, Flecky. I wonder what had happened to you. I missed you.
I shan't miss you. So very slowly. Back down there.
And we'll all change for dinner. Shall we, gentlemen?
Shall we?
Yes.
I simply cannot believe Flicky is a turncoat. Oh my, what a surprise. Am I right?
As much as it would be nice for Sydney Rome to follow me around the world, it is pretty suspicious that she showed up everywhere Drummond was. Alright, so Hugh Bulldog Drummond has been played by 14 different actors across the 24 featured films starring the character. Carlisle Blackwell was the first actor in 1922 to play the part. However, it wasn't until 1929's Bulldog Drummond that was the first time the character could be heard on screen, and it was Ronald Colman who played the character in the first talkie version of Drummond. Colman came back in 1934 to play the part again in Bulldog Drummond Strikes Back. Interestingly, also in 1934, long-time British actor Ralph Richardson also played Drummond in The Return of Bulldog Drummond, and that had to be kind of confusing to know which one you went and saw and who starred in which one with titles like that. American actor John Howard would be the one most closely associated with the role, appearing in 7 Paramount B-movies with the character between 1937 and 1939. In 1947, Ron Randall took over the role for 2 films for Columbia, followed by Tom Conway in 1948 for 2 more movies from 20th Century Fox. In 1951, Walter Pidgeon appeared in the only film made for MGM. In the wake of the James Bond boom in the 60s, the Rank organization from England got their 2-picture deal for Richard Johnson to appear in these light Bondian adventures. Now, Johnson was the original choice of director Terence Young to star as James Bond in 1962's Dr. No. However, Johnson was not available due to being an MGM contract player. Now, while MGM has long been associated with the Bond series, they were only the distributors with United Artists. Eon Productions were the actual producers of the movies. So I still have lots to say about James Bond. Are you excited for that, Baroness Helga?
So-so.
Alright, well, let's talk about Richard Johnson instead. Cool?
Are you going to mention that his name is basically Dick Johnson?
I don't have to now. But anyway, Johnson worked from 1951 right up until his death in 2015. He was ruggedly good looking and wasn't just known for acting. He also worked as a teacher of younger actors. He taught at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art during the summers and toured American colleges. He helped form the production company United British Artists in the early 80s, and he even served as a council member of the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, also known as BAFTA, which is kind of like the British version of our Academy here. He was a pretty well-respected actor. His filmography is loaded with recognizable films and TV appearances. In 1963, he was in the original version of The Haunting. In 1968, he appeared in a big-name, big-budget version of Oedipus the King, co-starring with the likes of Christopher Plummer and Orson Welles. In 1970, he was in Julius Caesar with Charlton Heston, John Gielgud, and Jason Robards. That movie I saw in middle school as we studied the story by Shakespeare. And in the 70s, he appeared in 2 movies I covered at the B-Movie Enema blog, 1974's Beyond the Door and Lucio Fulci's 1979 masterpiece, Zombie. In Zombie, Johnson played Dr. Menard. He's studying the zombie infection that is breaking out on this Caribbean island. In fact, at the very beginning of the movie, we see a man shoot something in the face, and that's Johnson with the gun. He later discovers that it's a voodoo curse that he has to try to stop that's bringing the dead back. Johnson was extremely well liked by his co-star and fellow Brit, Ian McCullough, who said that the movie, quote, didn't have the greatest of scripts, but Richard gave every scene authority and color. In the sequence in which he was driving me in a Land Rover, he extemporized in such a lyrical and poetic fashion that it reminded me of my days with the Royal Shakespeare Company, unquote. So once the 80s came around, things did slow down for a bit for him as he took on other responsibilities, but he appeared in 1981's The Monster Club as a vampire being hunted by Donald Pleasance.
Cobras from the Puma Man?
The very same. On TV, Johnson appeared in episodes of Tales of the Unexpected, Midsummer Murders, Magnum P.I., Tales from the Dark Side, Thriller, and the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. He also appeared in the TV movie Spy Maker, The Secret Life of Ian Fleming, which starred Jason Connery, son of Sean Connery.
Another mention of James Bond. I guess that means we have to talk about Bond, huh?
Yes, we'll talk about that after we check out this exciting and twist-filled conclusion to Some Girls Do.
The telegram you were expecting, Carl.
Thank you, my dear. How do you like the clothes we provided for you, Mr. Drummond?
Excellent. They might have been made for me.
They were, my dear fellow. They were. History repeats itself. Napoleon dreamt of the entire universe thronging to his door. Now I shall fulfill his dreams.
Dressed as the Duke of Wellington.
And of course, my dear fellow, never back a loser.
What's a nice girl like you doing in a dump like this?
Never, not even in England, have I ever come across a hotel where the service met with my satisfaction. So I built and staffed my own. Ah, Pandora, I'm sure you'd prefer something a trifle more exotic, wouldn't you, my dear?
You know my taste.
And what about you, Flicky, with your sweet tooth? I think she deserves a little reward for having looked after you so nicely, don't you think?
I thought working for you was its own reward.
I can't eat that stuff. Why don't you give it to Pandora?
Do you think you should, darling? It's terribly bad for the complexion.
I have a perfect complexion.
See, Mr. Drummond, to get perfect service, one needs total single-mindedness.
Thank you, sir.
See what I mean? Ordinary servant would have panicked, started to scream. Not my girls.
Hello, Central. Ready for number 9.
Thank you. Control. Message received.
Number 7, please.
They're wrong! I can't swim!
Remarkable girls, aren't they, Mr. Drummond? You see that in training.
I wonder what for.
Control, Mr. Drummond. Perfect control. These girls can do anything. Jerks. Titty-ho.
Central. It's yoicks and tally-ho. Not jerks and titty-hoo.
Yoicks, yoicks, tally-ho!
This one's slightly more stupid than some. That's why she's having extra training. Now watch her take this.
Fantastic. Faultless landing.
I think she's hurt.
Central. Number 7 needs reactivating.
Reactivating. Immediate.
She's
better.
Very interesting. Are they all like that?
That one's so stupid. She's almost human.
Must give you somebody to talk to when you want to feel superior. Huh?
Please, sir, can I have this one to practice with? Why don't she get her riding right first?
Is there something wrong with him? Has he been wrongly programmed?
Look here, I really must protest. This just isn't decent.
What about you, Mr. Drummond? Would you care to give us a little tuition in the art of seduction?
Well, have a try. That's the way. Just relax. Arms around the neck.
I do remember you're British.
Got there at last, Drummond.
Well, there has to be some method of controlling them, doesn't there? But I must say I didn't expect to find something as simple as a switch.
Hardly simple, Mr. Drummond. You've heard of artificial legs, artificial hands. Well, my girls have artificial brains, surgically implanted, of course. I've termed the operation robotizing, for want of a better word.
Sorry, sir. I don't know what happened.
You passed out in the heat of passion.
Once they've been fully trained and programmed, you won't be able to tell the difference between my girls and the common or garden variety. Except, of course, that they'll be under my control. Those two have been trained as weightlifters. They think big.
Yes, but apart from giving you somebody to live with who'll tolerate your nastiness, what's the point of it all?
The point? £8 million, Mr. Drummond. That's the point. A great deal of money. Here we have the operations room.
Has this one had the treatment?
Your lovely spy? No. She's supervising the installation of the booster mechanism on my little toy. Thanks to you for getting me the boat.
What does your little toy do?
The SST-1.
That airfield's pretty well guarded now. You won't get near it again.
I don't need to. Pandora, would you show Mr. Drummond how the prototype works?
Mr. Drummond, would you put your glass down, please? Move a little back. Hold it.
In for sound. So you've gone right off explosives now, have you?
Yes. Unfortunately for Pandora, she does so enjoy a good bang. Will you offer Mr. Drummond another drink, my dears?
Thank you.
Black and white with water, no ice.
Quite correct.
We're ready, Carl.
You see, Mr. Drummond, until I could get hold of that boat. I couldn't quite work out how to employ Pandora's little gadget for long-range destruction. But now, when the SST-1 takes off tomorrow, I turn on my projector, and the infrasonic waves will totally jam the supersonic control system of the plane.
What do you want to do that for?
£8 million. That's my fee for when the plane's contracts are cancelled.
And are we going to see this happen on your screen?
Oh, yes. Yes, tomorrow morning. That's the last thing either of you will see. After that, I'm going to use it on you.
Were you spying on us?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Drummond said you looked through the keyhole. Did you?
No, ma'am.
I switched her off.
Good.
Happy now?
Yes, I don't like being watched.
Do you have a light? I only want a light. Thank you.
I am like your last cigarette. A special treat for the condemned.
Dangerous to smoke in bed, you know.
That Helga is with him. She could have you.
Oh, yes?
She's so selfish, that one. I told her it was my turn. It makes me so terribly cross.
Why don't you try me?
You are not like him.
Well, you could pretend, couldn't you? No, I'm sorry.
But I promise you, once you know how, it's very good.
Yes, I'm sure. But look, are you sure you're not a robot?
Oh dear, you want a robot?
Yes.
Why?
Well, you see, I promised my mother I wouldn't, but I mean, if you were a robot, then that would be all right, wouldn't it?
But Mommy will never know.
Oh, no! I say, Mommy never told me about this.
All numbers report to control.
you be so rough, darling? Ooh, I thought you'd never get here.
Who are you double-crossing this time?
I had to make contact. Peterson's watching all the time.
All right. Now you've got me. What do you want?
CIA.
C.I. who?
Washington thought you needed looking after.
How sweet of them. You must think I'm a bigger fool than I look.
If you don't believe me, why did you come here instead of trying to swim for it?
Curiosity. The fact that the nearest place to swim to, 200 miles away. I'm not that strong.
Look, Peterson still trusts me. Do you want my help or not?
Well, how'd you get the job in the first place? You just call him up and ask?
2 years ago, Peterson needed a girl who spoke Russian. I do. Suppressor's intact. Only thing, no gas.
Yeah, they think of everything, don't they?
Almost everything. Yes.
If you shoot me, I'll shoot your fragile girlfriend, and you wouldn't like that, would you?
For many reasons, yes. I think I would. Give me that gun, or I'll shoot the darling little traitor. I wouldn't if I were you.
Drummond! Drummond! If Baroness Helga had alerted Control, then we would have been certain of his death. All right. Hello, Control.
Control.
Have they finished searching the grounds yet?
Continue. Search. Out.
Central, Drummond is not in the kitchen.
Over there. Sit down.
Number 7 reporting. No sign of Drummond. Out.
They've searched everywhere, Carl. My aim is still perfect. I must have killed him.
What a pity. I would have liked him to have seen the show. It's about to start in a minute.
Hello, Central. Number 7 reporting from the kitchen area. Drummond is not here.
Hello, Central. Recall all units, seal all doors immediately. We're about to commence operations.
All numbers report central doors and windows sealed immediately. Operation about to commence.
See you later, handsome.
See you later, handsome. Helga, would you get me a shot of Major Newman, please?
Yes, Carl.
Who's that?
The man who's going to pay me when that lovely plane goes up in smoke.
There you are, Major Newman. Your boys may be damn clever, but they'll never build a plane like that.
£8 million. It's not bad, is it?
How monstrous.
Rather depends on whose side you're on, dear chap, doesn't it?
I mean, talking about money like that. Like a tradesman.
Nearly ready, Carl.
Now. Do you see what's happening? Their plane is supersonic. Our little toy is subsonic. I've jammed their controls. They can do nothing. They will continue to climb, and no one will ever know what happened.
I think I owe myself displeasure.
No, don't.
I was only going to tickle him.
Have you gone mad? Use this in here and you'll jam the destructor, you fool. Turn it off, Peterson. Ah, come in, just in time. They've almost gone into orbit. I said turn it off. Try and make me.
You can't use that. It'll jam the destructor. He said so.
Keep that destructor going.
Yes.
Right. I'm going to walk up to you, take that out of your hand, and I'm going to turn off your little toy.
Stop! Take another step and I'll kill you.
If you kill me, you're going to blow your 8 million pounds, old boy. Central. All numbers to report to the rooftop immediately. Let's go. I don't think contracts for that plane will be cancelled after all. Drummond! Hello, Central. Numbers 1 through 6 to eliminate numbers 8 through 13, immediate and urgent. And numbers 8 through 13 to eliminate numbers 1 through 6, immediate and urgent.
Where's that little machine gotten to?
Upstairs, too dangerous a toy for you and me.
Oh, but I thought if you...
And Central. Number 7 to pick up the infrasonic manual destructor and dispose of it.
Order. Confirmed.
Come on. Female of the species, Carruthers.
Mr. Drummond.
Hello, number 7. I thought Central told you to dispose of that horrid thing.
That's just what I'm doing.
Why don't you dispose of it somewhere else?
Here.
Thank you very much. Now, let's see if this will open the boathouse, shall we?
Oh, look, right here.
Oh, good show. Now you hold that.
Okay. Please, please, please be very, very, very careful.
Then don't look.
Okay. That was fantastic.
Yes, it was rather, wasn't it?
Sorry, Mr. Drummond, but when you're playing Mata Hari, anything goes.
Not the CIA. How surprising. You couldn't possibly be working for that Russian organization, could you?
How did you guess? Now get away from the boat.
Are you Russian?
Oh, sorry, Peregrine, but we don't have infrasound. At least we didn't.
But that's marvelous. Why didn't you tell me? Меня говорить по-русски is just about the only thing I can do. Speak Russian, I mean. Mr. Drummond, will you tell His Excellency, please? I'm not defecting, just taking leave of absence to improve my Russian relations.
Don't speak out!
Come back! Mummy will never forgive you! Number 7. Who are you working for?
Who do you think?
Some girls do satisfy you, but they'll all mystify you. They'll thrill you, and some will do anything you desire. There's no about it. It's proved to be true. There is nothing in the world that can do what some girls do.
And there we have it. Bulldog Drummond saves the world.
But did he? Did he save the whole world?
You know, now that you say it like that, I'm not sure.
Something to think about, huh?
It really is. It's kind of funny that Drummond mostly saves a supersonic jet from being blown up. That's about it. More than anything, I guess he mostly saved the interest of some company.
What a hero!
I guess. Anyway, James Villiers is playing Carl Peterson in this movie. Now, Peterson was a recurring villain in the earliest books starring Drummond. In this, he's portrayed as a criminal mastermind and keeps his master of disguise skills from the novels, and apparently he's a whiz with robotics, too.
I don't get it. Was number 7 a robot or not?
I mean, your guess is as good as mine on that front. I'm thinking that she probably was meant to be a robot, but that was either changed at the last minute or just supposed to be a big old gag or something. I don't know. She was kind of adorably likable, though. If she was a robot, she's defective. If she's a real girl, then I guess she just wanted to belong someplace. But number 7 was played by Vanessa Howard, who had a short career in movies with a few fairly high-profile roles, with the TV movie The Picture of Dorian Gray, and as the titular girlie. She died somewhat young from complications from COPD, so get checked if you have issues breathing or coughing, kiddos. But Villiers also died in his 60s, passing away from cancer in 1998. Now, Nurse, I am going to give you your time to shine with your final grade of Some Girls Do, but I've got to talk about James Bond real quick. Now, I really do like Some Girls Do as well. It's more a palatable Bond parody than the actual real James Bond parody that was 1967's Casino Royale. This one is a fun little treat when it comes down to being an action movie that's fun, stays kind of flirty, and doesn't really take itself too seriously. It is most definitely a product of its time. The 60s were a huge era for the gentleman action star. Of course, that's thanks to Sean Connery's rough and rugged portrayal of James Bond, Agent 007 for the British Secret Service, but he could also still clean up nicely in a tux. But the Bond movies made so much money and were so popular, particularly with teenage and early 20s guys, that just about everyone wanted to get in on the action. It's interesting that we watched Some Girls Do in 2022, the 100th anniversary of the first Bulldog Drummond movie, because this is also the 60th anniversary of Dr. No being released in the UK. I grew up on Bond. It was one of those things that was still quite popular in the 80s when I was little because, of course, of Roger Moore's run as the secret agent who takes his martinis shaken, not stirred. The movie's got a lot of play on TV too, particularly in the summers on the ABC Movie of the Week. I remember taping them off TV, then later hunting down the uncut versions at the video store. In 1989, I went to see License to Kill starring Timothy Dalton as Bond, and I became more obsessed with the series than ever before. I took that as an opportunity to start collecting the movies on VHS in the early 90s while still desperately waiting for the next Bond film that wouldn't come until 1995's GoldenEye. The Bond movies are something that I still go to the theater to see with my dad with every new one that's released. We talk about our favorite memories of going to see them. He knows how much I love the series, and I know that his favorite is and forever will be From Russia with Love. It's kind of funny that you can very, very easily label these movies as chauvinist because Bond is kind of that classic white guy hero who scores with all the girls, even sometimes manhandling them into submission, but they do oddly cross over. There are a lot of female Bond fans. They are escapist fun, and yes, there's a lot of wish fulfillment for guys, but Bond also tends to mirror his times. You get the impression that he really is kind of the best a guy can be when it comes to being the type of person who might have to do a lot of living in the gray areas, if you catch my drift. One of the great things about the Bond series is that it really doesn't take itself too seriously either. The movies have stakes, but they each have moments that are fun. Sure, maybe the Daniel Craig era has become a little bit more serious, and that can be something that can ruffle some feathers, but there's so many fun and exciting moments that always bring a smile to my face. Alright, Nurse, tell the folks at home what you award some girls do.
So you're just not gonna call me Duchess Delilah or Baroness Helga anymore?
I mean, did you still want me to do that?
I don't know. It was kind of fun, but I don't want to have to develop an accent.
But why would you have to?
Well, I don't know any Helgas or Delilahs that don't have an accent.
Fair enough, I guess.
Anyway, so yes, obviously I think Baroness Helga is an awesome name, and I want to make Helga a popular name again. I think we need to get someone on that. But I do dislike how many of the girls have those mousy bimbo voices. I guess it's to make them seem, I don't know, unassuming, but they just kind of grate on my nerves a little bit. I also think all the girls' helmet hairdos are really funny. That nest of hair just sits up there and refuses to move no matter how much it really should. Do I look like I would have that problem? Do I? Huh? The fight scenes are kinda hokey, but maybe that was just the era. Maybe they didn't have any real stuntmen on set to help people look like they were actually getting hit and throwing a real punch. I probably should check out one of the Bond movies from the late 60s and see how some of those fight scenes look, but I suspect they're a little bit better. And maybe Geoff's right, and they aren't taking themselves all that serious, so the fight scenes come out looking like these. However, this is really a pretty good looking movie. They clearly had some sort of budget on this. There's a legitimate big orchestra score throughout the movie that really worked with the action scenes. The sets looked really cool, especially the bad guys' headquarters. The costumes also looked pretty top-notch. Maybe it couldn't quite compete with a James Bond movie, but this movie looks like it cost quite a few bucks. In all, this is an exciting little action movie with some kick-ass babes and some fun moments in it. I give this movie 4 poops out of 5. Now, I gotta go save a supersonic, super cool jet plane from getting blown up. Geoff, back to you.
Wait, what was that last part? Nurse? Nurse? Baroness Helga? Duchess Delilah? Oh god, if she's still in the driveway like last week, I will really have lots to answer for. Nurse, oh, thank God. Wait, are you okay?
Maybe?
What was that about saving a supersonic jet?
Oh yeah, that, yeah, I sure did say that, didn't I?
So, did you save it?
Nope.